Yeah? In Burma. And the tutus about that. I got you covered. No, I got it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yes. Let me go. Real crank. I said, hold up. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Wait, there, it drop out? No one tell me it drop out. No. She's on. Oh no, I see something about he paused. We paused. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know, man. But we almost there. We getting there. We almost there, people. We almost there. So we all half hour. But we thank y'all for rocking with us. Derek, you there? Derek? Yeah. Derek, you still there?
Oh, yeah.
All right, good. We here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages. I'm your host, Neil Jones, my brother from another mother, and your host, Derek.
Yeah.
And together, we bringing you another version. Well, the live stream. We back in the crank. We back at it. We doing the thing. What's going on, my brother? How is life treating you?
On here. Waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to crank.
Ready to crank? Oh, that's half the battle. Half the battle is that you're here. So, tell us about G-Syndicate real quick before we get into things.
And show what you mean. Mark, and Brett, you doing good things. Check me out on social media. Everything. Calm.
All right. Check out the man. My brother, I have missed you, What the kids are saying, no homo or pause. But yeah, it's
pause is a new thing.
Yeah, pause is a new thing. It's an unfortunate situation that would have transpired that caused me to be out of action for 2 weeks. But I am here. And boy, oh boy, the content kept on coming. I had to take an impromptu trip. I did some research. I was out in the streets of New York City, and did some research. And I have some findings. I'm sure we can talk about it at some point. But we are here. I say to say we getting a little turbulent still. We get this thing sorted out, man. Let us get this thing sorted out.
Yeah, I thought so. I apologize for it. Thank you for hanging in there. But let me crank me. Don't let me start on ceremony.
Let me. Yeah, wait, you still there? Let me hear you. Okay. You still there? Yeah, you're still there. All right. Well, to say everything, we can do our best here, people. We struggle streaming. We hear the lights on. We can figure it out, right? As we go on. Anyhow, let's get into it, my brother.
I like to set up these things. I like to have a little bit of levity before we get into the real meeting. So that we get number one. Right? Lady, get her name.
All right. They said they're not hearing you. They can hear you say something there. So again, let me see. But they can hear you. Yeah, they're hearing you or not hearing you. Let me see. Don't play with emotions. Anyhow, we can press on. We can. Let me go. All right. So we get number one on screen.
Yeah, man. This lady, she was in the NCAA tournament, March Madness. Ladies, somebody took this picture and put the caption over it. Women are over 30 after 2 months. So, fellas, when you're out there in these streets, you got to be careful. Ladies, some of them are like, you are about that. You need to be mindful. We press on to the next one because we just keep I had this put up on the thing.
All right, the next one on screen.
And it reads, I haven't seen a man and shit post in a while. All in love? This lady response says, nope. Our costumes keep paying. We're not in love.
But you know what I find hilarious about that? Generally speaking, we have not been seeing the men and shit post for a little while. And I would have mentioned it, I think it was last week, that I find a lot more women are pushing back on social media saying, maybe you should hush them out and be more in tune with what's going on with men and stuff like that. You want men stop with the foolish behaviors and stuff. So maybe that has something to do with it. What was your thing? What's your take on it?
I think a couple months ago, year, we would have done a stream called Hiatus. We talked about men, essentially about body line, till it is things we do not. And you know, there are some people who show the ladies, some men show the ladies in the bath.
Wait, pause. You have a fan on in the background?
So,
You may go, yeah. All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's a case where some men, for the sake of getting some action, will, you know, sell out and do the simping thing, saying that brand and glorious rising text. But men more and more are saying, look, this is how we are, right? And anything that's done, we are not accepting. And I think women are adjusting. Women are recognizing, you, these men ain't really making a sport. So if we don't want to be over here, so my girl said, all alone by her lonesome self, I can go and make some kind of adjustment to remain competitive.
That's facts. That's facts. I can't worry with that.
I actually made the decision I'm going to do a presentation on Sunday.
Wait, this breaking news is breaking news. They're making a presentation.
I'm going to make a brief presentation about this very thing because it came out of a discussion we were having in chat earlier about the whole Kiki Palmer. She's going to release a tune with Usher.
Wild.
Make this shit up. Yeah, he is going to release a tune with Usher. It which leads me to wonder if people think it's some kind of like promo for it or whatever. But coming out of that, I made a decision. You know what, I can talk because I think it's important, pertinent. So, resuming, probably beginning everything where everybody else is gathering and talk because there are a lot of things that. But anyway, talk about that later on in the chat. Let's go forward.
Next one, let's get it.
Yeah. And this one reads, text. Hey, this is Vance. Just tell you a little smiley face. It says, hope you've had a day. Excited for tomorrow. I pick you up. If you're not comfortable with that, sleep there. Don't know why. Feeling, getting scream, soft leather. Well, my girl says, sorry if this may come off. It's rude, but I don't do these screen dates. I'm a 26-year-old woman. That seems like absolute bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
You help me reaching out based on both our times since we probably don't have sleep. But
yeah, you know, it's funny, right? I actually know a woman. She has no problem with ice cream dates. This is just funny to me, you know, that some women see ice cream dates as the bare minimum. And we would have talked about this. And I'm sure Dr. Kerry was on this podcast when we talked about it too, where there is something to be said for getting to know someone on the first date. That's the purpose of a first date. The first date is not about, you know, it really ain't got nothing to do with money. It's about getting to know the person. You know what I mean? Sure, some people may not like ice cream date as a first date, but you know what? You know, I heard a woman one time, the woman in the gym said she would not go to Chafet on a first date. And you know, some other women would not go to something like a TGI's or a Just Drilling in Barbados type of vibe, right? And to y'all women, to y'all that have your standard, do your thing. Do your thing. You know what I mean? I certainly, and men are starting to realize that women that have these the purpose of a first date is to get to know someone. So if you, I don't want to do ice cream dates, or we're not going on a picnic, or we're not, that's bare minimum, then fine, no problem. We got more than one of them we out there, you know. And the way social media set up and the way that the women coming out dressed to the nines and getting the BBLs, everybody looking the same. So do your thing. Do your thing. There is a woman out there that is probably more amenable than you and more willing to engage us to have those basic conversations. So do you. Do you. I just think that men, and I want, and this is something I keep saying to the men, right? To Derek and think, men, I want men, and Derek agrees with me wholeheartedly. Men gotta stop being so desperate. I understand we ain't getting action like that, and I understand that we are afraid that we won't be getting attention from a woman. But trust and believe, stay up in your grind, be on your mission for yourself, and women will come. Do not worry about that one that gone, right? Because you can break you back now to carry she to some big restaurant, carry she on some big date or something, and then she out the same way. So to me, to all the men out there, there's nothing wrong in going for a simple first date. You want to go for ice cream, you want to go for a walk, I ain't telling you how to spend money. Shoot, you might be a billionaire, you got it like that. But the point remains is that the purpose of a first date is to get to know each other on a basic fundamental level. Right? So keep it up, ladies.
Should be. Here's the thing.
Wait, there, you breaking up. You could barely, you may go come a little closer to your mic or something.
I don't want my face too far. But because you're standard, but in negotiations, negotiations will always.
You breaking up real bad though. All right. You can't get no closer, right?
Out of them full face.
In the phone?
You hear me here?
Yeah, I can hear you there.
Good.
I could zoom out a little bit, man. Don't worry about that. I could take you out a little bit.
Right. So I was saying, you get what you can do. That you're a 26-year-old, that's it, and you can push it. That's all. When, unfortunately, when they come from. But we can remember this because about this very thing. Because I remember I had a conversation with him in the hall that his wife told him that he so very cool. On another screen. Give me the next one there.
All right, let me get the next one here on screen. Let's get it. You're on screen.
Says advice from best friend be like. These two ladies texting each other. One says, "We arguing and it's not making sense. What they do now." Gentlemen, ladies, anything. So if a lady's friend, not just you, friend, gentlemen, what do you think of that?
But gentlemen, people tell me if you can hear Derek, because he breaking up for me, and they just want to make sure it ain't me, because they seeing that I gain levels. So I just want to make sure it ain't me, and that y'all can hear him, because it's more important that y'all hear him than me. So let me know if y'all hearing Derek, if he's still choppy or y'all still having problems, then we would think. But if not, you give us the thumbs up, we would keep pressing on. Right. Oh, Mark, showed up Mark. He said we can't hear him. Using your phone, you have the headphones plugged into your phone?
Yeah. Let me tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, Derek. You hear me? You hear me? Yeah? You hear me? I can't hear you no at all. Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. 1 2 testing. Derek? You there, Derek? You can hear me? You can hear me? Testing 1 2. You can hear me? All right. Yeah, I know. I know how come they can't hear you.
Let me know if you
Yeah, you real low now. Audio cheese on break. I still see the audio gremlins working the graveyard shift. Boy, believe it. Let me see here. So you could bring the phone. If you take the phone and bring it closer to you, let me see something. I just want to know if I can hear you. If it's the distance from the phone or if it is oh Lord. Oh God. Yeah, you there?
yeah.
All right. Give me some levels there so let me hear.
Sure. Here.
Yeah, you're breaking up real bad. You All right. We can try to make this work. All right. So we go on to the next one. Right? The next one now is a 6 brown chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 6 brown chicks.
They're always good. By the time this one reads, I met a good man when he was having a hard time legally married, but it's like beds trying to leave her, didn't have money. So give him a credit card to help him expenses. So the card 12,000. We were on FaceTime discussing what he bought. So he's going to pay me back when his wife walked in the room and climbed on top of him. This one said, we appreciate your donation. He stared at me before hanging up. Told me he wasn't sleeping with his wife anymore. But not responding to calls that just want money back. Oh, I SBC. Oh my God!
Well, that money burn. Boy. All right. So you met a good man who was having problems in his marriage. He's legally married, but they slept in different beds. No, ladies, this ain't gonna ruffle a feather or two, right? If you hear a man is married, left it out. Leave it out. Right? Because at the end of the day, that man could tell you anything. And let's take things at face value. He's a good man. He probably did have problems in his marriage, but we know how it is when you live with a woman. When I live in a separate beds, she might get up at night and say, you know what? I'm married to this here, so I want a piece of this here. Right?
Yeah.
So, ladies, it is best to leave out the married man. I understand things happen. Life is not black and white. It is gray. Sometimes you find yourselves in situations and connecting with people that are otherwise in another relationship and the relationship is not going so well. But when you put yourself in a situation dealing with a married man and he's still living in the same house as the married man, best believe that they can still do married people things. It is different now if the man separated. Man separated and move out, maybe it will got a better chance. But I could get dicey still. Leave out the married man. That's all. That's simple. That's simple because life does happen. The same way that one week or probably last 6 months, they have not had a good relationship, a good marriage. And she said, like, Mama, you sleep in another bed? Very well. So Mama said, well, we separate as far as they're concerned. I out in the streets. But then the wife one time come and say, you know what? You remember the time? Do you remember the time? Right? And slide in the bed so and then all of a sudden now, you know, it's back to old times. So please, exactly. Just, you know. So, sweet girl, you got to swallow that L. How you get back your money?
Money.
That money burn. That money burn. I don't know if you can do some legal recourse and hope that your texts and calls could lead to some. I don't know. As far as this concerned, the law is charity. You give it some money, so I don't know what to tell you.
And how did we get next on that?
Oh, let me get another 6 brown chicks. Cheese on bread. All right, let me get it.
At 47, I left my wife and teen son back to start 20 or strainer and went on TikTok. Felt my family was draining me mentally and financially. I did better sex, clean air, warm climate. Told my wife I had a job interview in Arizona that could change our lives. So she went nuts. I got here and things were okay, except the sex. This woman's cat has no walls, no grip at all. No sensation. I haven't said that, and this has never happened to me before. I might as well be effing a cloud. The last time we slept together, after the squeeze or pelvic thrust or something, she said she needs a larger man.
Oh God.
What first? They told him bumped into her ex. He said, "Don't waste your time. You can't compete with her horses." Does that mean what I think it means? Is she doing the horses? She met someone else on TikTok and has asked me to leave. I've been here for a few months. Wife and son want that. How to improve my chance? Advice. Hashtag exco boy. Hashtag XP teacher.
Yo. So at 47, you left your wife and son for another woman in Arizona, right? You decide, you know what? I left my wife and son. I was 47. I could go in these streets. I can make another life, right? I just tired of it. I tired of it being drained mentally and financially. So you gone out to Arizona, you find a nice little 20, and you decide a horse trainer. And you decide, are you gonna deal with this thing here? You had clean air, you wanted better sex, and a warmer climate, right? So in dealing with this woman now, the woman had no walls, no grip, nothing. The woman just loose. You just knock him out. Nothing. You just beat him out in there. So like you just Marcy could as well be effing a cloud.
No. Oh yeah, man.
So this, to be fair, let's be fair, Derek. Let's be fair. This is funny, but let's be fair. Men do it too, where we think that we got better on the other side. We still feel that we out here. We still, and to be fair, if I'm gonna be honest, I think that some men, because at 47, you financial peak, or you should be, you might still keep yourself a certain sort of way. You definitely will be improving in looks. Most men improve in looks and financial well-being and everything like that in the mid-40s and going forward. So to this man, he might look in the mirror and see this here. That what it say. My wife wearing a duster to bed and a bonnet. My son giving me stress. He's a bare little dunce, little hard, little shite. I getting this cold weather here where I live. I gotta be shoveling snow, a beer jump. Nah, right? But you better know upon a 20-year-old horse trainer that pussy be out. Right? So, gentlemen, you got to kind of take care of home first, right? If you're being drained mentally and financially, but as we sign up, well, not the mentally part, you got to balance that. Financially, you got to find some solution. And you met a woman on TikTok, brother man. You meet a woman for TikTok, you out for your wife or your son? Come on, gentlemen. At the end of the day, if you are in a committed relationship with a woman, you have to figure out how to balance all the leads. If you cannot balance all the leads and your wife is not amenable to meeting you halfway or even helping you when you shortfall in certain things, then sure, get a divorce, do what you gotta do, right? But certainly do not leave your wife the stability, because you know for sure, even if you know you wife and you son, you get mentally and financially drained, you know what that is. You gone to Arizona with 20-year-old horse training me for TikTok, you know you get in there and you find out certainly because you thought it was sweet sex. That what you thought now. It's a cheese on bread. Look at that 20-year-old that cheese on bread. A stallion. Look at that look. Right? You gone now. You know that the woman gaping. No. You gotta stick it out. You gotta do what you gotta do for your family. And if it doesn't work out, cut down, find another relationship, and find one that makes sense. I mean, there's nothing wrong in dating a 20-year-old woman. I wouldn't advise me and a woman on TikTok. But if you were single and you did that, it's like, all right, well, it work out, I could do something else. But no, you're trying to top back. That's the problem here for me. If you cutting clean from the away from the sun, you they ain't gonna take you back. You probably was down there taking pictures and saying, look at me, look at she, look, she's 20, look, in Arizona, look, life good. All the while, you're mediocre, you're a nice size eggplant, but they're flopping both in the wing.
You know, if a woman and this be extremely critical, so it be extremely critical.
Yeah.
I didn't say can't talk.
Can't talk back.
Yeah. But tell you left the place, talk about home.
Talk about home.
Your father, your wife. That out of box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 0 points. 0 points. Right? Kind of points. Father, your wife, it's a home. For what? Say, because the reality is, young girl ain't offering anything. You say that. So you better looking for that. But for that, right? They do the horse trader, but for the couple. You gotta eat that. You gotta eat. Do not go back to confuse your back again. But already, right? So eat that. You know what you did there. I hold that blow for your but do not go back. Right? You with that. Anyhow, give me next one there, dear.
They still say the song getting in and out, so let me see here now. How about this, right? All right, but no, you can't do that because you're using the phone. Yeah, I was gonna say do some a voice note. I'm trying to see here now is the best thing we could do here. We got find a solution, man, because we got a crank. Anyhow,
we could do is crank.
We do is crank. Bear with us, people. Bear with us, people. Anyhow, we got the next one, another 6 brown chicks.
All in this, right? Yeah, let me get next.
Yeah, next one on screen.
All right, so my co-workers actually up forward to the next.
Yeah, hold on, I think he got the wrong one. Hold on. Co-worker. What number that is? 7? Got it here. Got it. All right, let me go.
I'll say the grass always looks green. The grass is always green. My co-worker, but posted party pics on Instagram inspired. Okay. It's called off by the what? Anyhow, trying to put her find work so I can get my money back, but she's not doing her part. Finally, she said she has this pregnancy. Screaming, she's pregnant. After she got fired, 2 other co-workers mentioned loaning her money are also with her.
Oh no.
Yeah. Any one of us could father this baby. What legal? Growth sharing that ninjas advice. Hashtag STC. Use a nasty ninja too.
Using nasty ninja too. Like your co-worker love a bar 2,000 for you for her moving your expenses. She call in sick, but parties you get fired, whatever, right? Brother mine, gentlemen, we gotta stop this thing, right? Like I understand. You get bamboozled, you get tricked, right? Let's take it in good faith. There's a co-worker. You probably I don't know if it was just sex. Your mom was hitting it, but right, co-worker / job. So he's hitting it, right? This is a girlfriend, not her. Gentlemen, we gotta start owing him money. So, okay, let me backtrack. There's a saying that somebody told me one thing very early on in my youth. Do not lend out money that you can't do without, that you can't afford to lose. Exactly. You cannot. Do not lend. You lend out $2,000. To me, if you lending out that $2,000, You should be like, but there's a drop in the bucket for me. If I don't get this back, I know I get this back. And it ain't gonna be nothing on you. But you gave her $2,000 for moving expenses. She probably used that money.
You go for your work.
You gotta find work for she. I bet if she used that $2,000 to party that same moving expenses you're talking about, she probably was partying off of that she put on Instagram.
What's the pick?
Exactly. So my advice would be, gentlemen, and this for ladies too, because I know some ladies out there that's buy cars for men and put the name on certain things. And do not put yourself in something that you cannot afford to lose. So do not put your name for no credit. Do not put your name for no deed. Do not put your name on something that the man can easily abscond. If like always treat it as, suppose I never get back this money, or I never get back the payment for this car, or I never get back a thank you or something. If it can bother you, do not do it. Right? They've had times in my life where friends asked me for thousands of dollars and things like that. I had it, but I ain't letting that out. I don't know. I knew the person wasn't financially stable, or like, these people like that. So what I would if you wanted to borrow, let's say $50, and I had $1,000, sure, I would lend you $50, because if I don't get back the $50, that's all right. Like, good, that's life, right? But certainly if I got $1,000 and I lend you $900, I'd be vexed that I'm missing $900, right? So we have to be very careful with how we lend money, and it's not anything to do saying that you don't want to help or you're not in love or whatever, but you have to protect yourself. And I tell you not to give, just don't give so much. You get $2,000 now, you're looking for legal options to get out this mess. No, brother, you in it. You was having sex with a co-worker that clearly for the streets, and you gave away money like use fast cash. Huh? You gave away money, boss. Don't do that. Don't do that.
And the thing is, this is clearly not his own.
Apart,
yeah, money.
The office. There's the office woman, the office wife.
But here's the thing, right? I understand it, because I know we as men, and provision is one of them 4 people we talk about. Provision. But the challenge we have here is that we do not view sex equal as sex.
Wait, say that again. Say what you may go repeat that.
We do not view sex. Sex is not viewed as equal exchange. You always look at evaluated exchange.
Right, evaluated exchange, not equal exchange, right?
Because a woman would always ask, hey, you get this. Always say, you getting me? As opposed to saying, like, you getting me too. You know what I mean? Right. So the approach always, I'm the price for one of them. So you as a man have to pay for that price. So we are always quick to say, for this money, for this break, for this dinette set, for this TV.
Dinette set.
You know what I mean? Those are the things that we do, right? And we hear, for this costume. Yeah? Right? Those are the things we do. Then we come to find out, yeah, just me. So, I prefer the TV, but somebody in the store. You know what I mean? And then we are always upset as men because you don't get turned on. So it's not people upset though, the fact that are you sharing with these nasty natures? You just want to do that.
Using a matter of fact, you may be the nasty nature, boss. Suppose, cause think about it. If me, you, and let's say Lord Man, right? The three of you here, and it come to like now that all of we was dealing with the same co-worker. But shoot, I might be the nasty danger.
Yeah.
But I must be kind of last in the equation. Well, you know, shoot. You know what I mean?
Anyhow, let's press on because what's in late button if you're here to so 2:30 midnight.
Yeah,
we should stream it tonight, but all will be like this, right?
Yeah, we can work on this audio. So honestly, I don't know what happened. As all I can say is the gremlins out. So we can obviously be right and tight for the next edition, but bear with us and we thank you so much. Anyhow, right. I see Asta laughing at come last. I didn't mean it like that, but sure.
Yeah, man. Give me next one there.
Yeah, you're on screen.
I was at home giving myself a pedicure when my fiance gets home. I was like very early. Get some salad, fresh squeezed juice, quick, right? First in person. My future mother-in-law is pressuring me, fiance, without me actually going to the nurse.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh.
Have a small kid in her face and she's ruining my
Oh no. Right. So my
uh,
girl was getting herself a pedicure. Fiance mother coming. My girl decide, well, let me bake up and whip up some things. And the mother now saying need to get rid of she cause she got a toenail in the salad. Now, my girl, you just gotta eat this because part of the pun. But like what you could do about this, if you think about it like this, right? You got a catering business. It means that you know better. Shout out Lord Man, this is right up Lord Man Avenue here. This is right up Lord Man Avenue. If you know you have a catering business, you know that there are certain health rules and regulations you have to abide by. Right? So let's take the pedicure, let's take the mother-in-law, let me take the fiance, let me take all that out. If this was a catering business and I found a toenail in my salad, well, I can ruin your reputation too.
for sure.
The only addition here is that the man said the mother saying you need to get rid of she here, of course. You eat it toenail salad for the rest of your life. You could be eating toenail salad for the rest of your life. Don't do that. So my girl, you just got dinner advice here. You just gotta eat this. You you just gotta you gotta absorb this. If the man decide to leave, the man decide to leave. Hopefully the man will understand. The mother-in-law, she done got she might make it. So she ain't never eaten that for you again. So it's just life. That's just life. That's just what it is.
I'll say this. I see Steve here saying if moms don't like you, she was just getting for all. I didn't think it might be that. I think what is lost in all of that is the fact that the girlfriend was able to prepare croissants, salad, juice, tea, quick, fast, and in a hurry. And here's the thing: she didn't say that the fiance acted. Right? So why we consider that? Yeah, you get a woman with nails,
Toenail salad.
right? Also consider that this is a woman who was thoughtful enough, even if she was only doing it to put on a show, thoughtful, bare bread. Other women, that ain't gonna happen, right? So yeah, these people who say eat cookie say sauce, but you gotta eat.
Yeah, you got to eat it. Toenail salad.
Yeah,
That's
you gotta be, I think we need to consider that, and that should weigh ahead. I want to be fair because I remember I went to an establishment here, and there too presented you with a toenail, a fingernail, and I have not been to that establishment since. That's 23, so that's 20 years. I have not tried. I don't know. Do not know. Because that after the show, right? But I have so I can understand it being traumatic. But in terms of you're not only trying to ruin the woman business, trying to get stuff, but you're perfect, but all don't touch with it. You know what I mean? So I think you should. Has it happened before? Is your first in-person meeting with a woman? Your first impressions matter. I think moms need to be a little bit. I think she needs to consider everything context. As opposed to being so hated. So yeah, now you might say that you son, you might not be able to find out on that level. Exactly. Give me next one, Danny. Let me go. So therefore, reads. I don't let my man go through my and it's not cheating. I am my friends slash family safe place. They're mine. We send each other pictures, discuss problems, personal issues, family business, etc. Don't need you knowing their business or seeing their
Lord. Oh Lord. Oh Lord, the gremlin. Sorry. Thank you. Anyhow, we start. Basically, for those of you that didn't hear, I don't let my mom go through my phone. It's not because you cheating, because friends, family, to send her things. She's a safe space, etc., etc. Now I can just repeat certain things just in case people just listening and not watching for future. But the first thing for me is, why are people going through each other's phone? Why your mom going through your phone, or sorry, why does your mom want to go through your phone, and why do women want to go through men's phone? As I was saying, I one time did this where I went through somebody. The relationship was going kind of rocky. I was feeling insecure. I went through her device, or one of her devices, and I felt shame for it so much so that I felt as though you don't deserve. Anytime you get into that level, that you gotta be looking through somebody's phone, or let's say again, you can't drive to see if they're really home, or if you gotta do them things, you gotta let her go, because that means that you're not in a safe space mentally to be with this woman, whether it is your perception or is what she is doing or not doing. So number one in this whole thing is, do not be going through nobody's phone. That's an option, right? That's a thing, right? It's different to because I've been in relationships before where, like, my girlfriend at the time would be playing games on my phone, or I had a movie on my phone that she wanted to watch or whatever, right? So I like big phones, so the screens of my phones are usually bigger than women's phones. So they would want to watch. They would like the big screen to watch certain things. Let's say if it was using television or not. I have no problem with a woman using my phone, but there's a difference between using my phone and going through my phone. Because and I am not a proponent of stopping somebody from using my phone. If it's a practical reason to use my phone, use my phone. You want to make a call, you want to access certain games or something like that, fine. But I trust you enough that you will not be going through my phone, and I will not go through your phone, because I trust you and you trust me. If I start to feel like I don't trust you, and I feel like I'm feeling uneasy and uncomfortable with how she texting at certain times of the night, etc., 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 then I either tell her, hey, I'm uncomfortable with the times you texting, or what seems to be something that thing, or I can go and break up with her. But let's not have this trend of going through people's phones, right? So that's just my take on it. I felt going through people's phones.
Yeah, I with you 100% there. I don't want such, don't want to point shoot my daughter. And I like the we send each other. I hope it goes both ways. We play that. Mm-hmm. I hope that she is just as respectful and it's not going through her mind.
Amen.
Because you tend to have the idea that it's rules for me and not for thee, rules for thee and not for me in this situation. So I could do one thing. Yeah, I know you understand, man. But I hope it's not a case where she figured that she.
Say that again. Say that one more time.
Yeah, I hope it's not a case where she feels that she can just pick up her man's phone and go searching. Right. Say, more to search, more to look. Let's see.
That's true.
And invariably, folks, when you when you go looking through somebody's phone, you find something that's off color people. And it's going to be problematic. Ronald Reagan said it, trust, but very fun. Let me get 9. We get 10 and 11. We put these together because these are.
All right. There we go. Number 10.
Now, this first one, number 10, this is obviously written by a woman, and it reads: being single is a choice. There's no such thing as she can't get a man. A man is the easiest thing to get. It's getting the right man. Please don't let that go on heads. Now, laughing emoji and all that stuff in it. So, let's get number 11.
Number 11 on screen already.
Women. I want a man who's taller than me, earns more than me, is masculine, stable, fun. Society. Yes. Men. I want a younger woman who's feminine, sweet, and not bad. Society. Such fresh. Yeah.
Right. No, I love these. I love these because this. When we started this podcast, right, many moons ago, used to hear, oh, the double standard. There's a double standard in society that men could go out there and do as they like and women cannot. There's a double standard that women has to work twice as hard to be half as far as a man could get. Just hear all of these things, right? The double standards. But check this here. Being single is a woman's choice. You could get a man. I agree with you. A woman could get every woman. I always test this, right? With any woman I thought that. It's listen, if you wanted to have sex tonight, if you wanted to have attention from a man tonight, if you wanted to see a man tonight, I ain't gonna be hard for you. But it's the right man. So I actually agree with the first one because being single is, well, no. Let me change this. I actually think it is a choice. Because you being with a man that is not the right man is still a choice. Right? And it leaves you in a place where you're not in a healthy, happy relationship. So you should really make the choice to look for the right man. So I kind of half agree with that there. But this next one here, no, is the real kicker for me. This next one here is the real kicker for me, right? Ladies, we tired of saying this, right? And that's why I said many, or shout out my man Nicholas McGarry, Nicholas in the Crank. I said this since last year. I done with the plus size woman and, you're fat. You're fat. Why? Because exactly what this second thing says. It says a woman wants a man that's taller, right? So the man has to be 6 foot tall or taller than her, earn some money, be masculine, confident, stable, and funny. But if I want a woman that is feminine, fit, sweet, considerate, then I am misogynist. No. It's either you're a misandrist and I'm a misogynist, or we both have preferences and standards. And don't give me the BS about y'all are the fair sex and how women have to, they're the prize and they're the nurture. No, Rasta, no, cuz. At the end of the day, y'all want a man that has money, has masculinity, has confidence. That's what you want. That is what you want, right? That is what you want. And at the end of the day, it boggles my mind how women say we are the prize, but yet still have a laundry list of demands for the man that they want, that they're willing to submit to. Can you imagine, right, that you are the prize, but you're willing to bring out your femininity and to submit and to cook the man a sandwich and do all of these things if you find the right man? So who's the real prize here? Well, if I got unlock your femininity, well, I gotta be praised, right?
That's cat, but
Right. Well, yeah. So that's my take on it. My take on it is that at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with you wanting somebody taller than you. There's nothing wrong with you wanting a man that earns more than you. There's nothing wrong with you wanting a man that is a masculine and traditional man. There's nothing wrong with you wanting a man that is stable, funny, and confident. But please understand that if I say I want a woman that is fit, fine, and feminine, I want a woman that is willing to work with me, to let me express my masculine and she access and showcase her feminine, right? I don't want no fat women. I don't want no women that's dressed inappropriate. I don't want no loud ratchet women, right? Don't come for me for my standard, And I think the problem is there. What's the problem? I think women are allowed to vocalize, verbalize, and express what they want. But the problem is when men do it. We shouldn't be doing it. When we pop up and we just got a supermodel on we arm, we just got to deal with that.
Yes, that is the real thing there. Men need to stop debating.
Yeah, they get the back and forth.
Right? It's not the back and forth. Just lay action show. You know what I mean? Move a certain way. Choose who you want. As opposed to saying, oh, but women should be this, women should be that. Just choose who you want. You know what I mean? And I like the fact that the first one that says being single is a choice for me. Not really. It's not really. But because when you turn around, you say it's getting the right man. So you can just pick up, well, a lot of them do, but you can just pick up and go with the wrong man. So if you can't get, there, who was it? Actually, it was you, Neil. In the chat we were discussing yesterday, you made the point, if I want a Bugatti and I don't do anything to put myself in a position to afford said Bugatti, you can't then really turn around and say, well, yeah, the Bugatti, it was my choice to not have a Bugatti.
No.
Not really. You just could afford it, right? And the same thing applies for relationships. We as men, if we can't meet certain basic requirements for a woman, we can't get a woman. And us being single is not a choice. You get what I'm saying? If you can't provide a certain money, if you're tall, if you're slim, if you're good looking enough, women will not take you on. And whether you think we want delude yourself and say, oh, my choice to be single, nah. You just ain't being chosen. And that's not true.
But
that's what it is.
But real quick before we go on, right? Because this is important to note, right? I find it very strange too that because now we're hearing, if you don't date a woman that is fat, you fat phobic. If you would not consider a woman that's fat phobic, if you date a white woman or a woman that's not if a woman is not in your racial bracket or in your economic bracket or whatever, you being classist, sexist, you being all these things, right? So it's like we can't tell women not one thing, but women can tell me who to date. At the end of the day, man, as Derek said it very well. Now with the back and forth. You want a woman, you want a particular woman, go for that particular woman. Bottom line. Women, if you want a particular man, go for that particular man. Bottom line.
The use of the word phobia is always funny to me because to me, phobia suggests it means irrational fears. Certain things. I don't think anybody's fearful. You just not dealing with it. Yeah. Anyhow, we get next. So this next one, folks, comes from the New York Post. And the New York Post be wilding in the streets. So let's read this one. And it reads, I sold my home for a facelift. Now I look fabulous, but live in a van.
That's that bullshit.
Life in plastic is so fantastic.
but
what do you rate me, man? You're a poet and don't know it. Life in plastic is so fantastic that one cosmetic surgery patient is willing to live on the road for it. A 30-year-old woman has revealed that she underwent facelift at the cost of a 3-bed house, selling the property in Arizona so that she could afford.
Hold on. Pause podcast. You need $14,000. You gonna sell your house?
Yeah.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah, so she could afford the procedure, right? Kelly Beasley, a blogger who lives in Lake Tahoe, California, now travels in a van since selling her house, but has a fresh new face to show for it and wants to end the shame surrounding plastic surgery. Around 48, my face started dropping fast. The changes were astounding. She claimed that getting other injectables and fillers, which she had been getting for the past 15 years, wasn't going to make a difference. So she sold her pad as a cushion to call for cash. The results are beyond what I expected. I didn't expect to look younger. And here we have.
Let me show you pictures. I see. My man Steve talk about Arizona 2-0 in this podcast. But let's see the difference here now, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Let you deal up.
Yeah. In the end, she went this facelift. Yes, and she spent $14,000 on this thing, right? And she says, I'm loving my look and looking my most fabulous that I can, right? The 50-year-old explained that when she came to the conclusion that she wanted to get a procedure, nearby plastic surgeons quoted her work at $50,000 to $60,000.
Wait. I know what is good. You go ahead.
Yeah. Then she saw a woman on TikTok who had gotten the procedure done in Tijuana, Mexico for just $14,000 and great results. So Beasley joined a Facebook group for EOC Plastics, an organization that helps with others coordinate plastic surgeries in Mexico. She started looking at other women's experiences, decided to sign up to be put on a cancellation list. Beasley was notified of a cancellation this past January, but didn't feel quite ready.
All right.
A month later.
No, you go ahead. Sorry. You go ahead.
A month later, they had another cancellation, Beasley explained. I thought, let's do this. She
Let's do
continued.
this.
It was on February 14th. Happy Valentine's to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and here we have. This is what she spent her Galentine's doing.
Lucky idiot. Lucky Johnny. Look. Sure, look.
That's Beasley there. Right? Beasley traveled to Tijuana on February 13th, Valentine's Day, just one day before she went under the knife and endured a 4-hour-long surgery. Now, instead of this woman getting level 30, 40, she was getting cut up instead, which involved taking fat from her thighs and putting it into her lips and her face. In the end, she went for an extended facelift, neck lift, lip lift, and fat transfer from her thighs. She spent 6 days recuperating in a hotel in Tijuana and then drove back home west. Beasley compared the whole ordeal to being on a vacation. I woke up with head wrapped in a giant crazy bandage. Started taking pictures immediately. The hero claimed that she didn't feel any pain and instead fully experienced discomfort. So far, she is loving her appearance, although she admitted that it does take some time to get used to changing looks. After about a week and a half, I had a minor crack. She said, your brain is having a hard time adjusting to her face. But now she's a big fan and believes the procedure took 20 years off her appearance. She even said that she prefers her looks now that when she was 30 years old and is having fun putting on makeup again.
Mm-hmm.
Beasley wants to share her journey in hopes that others will stop shame surrounding plastic surgery. If we do too much, we're vain or insecure. If you don't do anything, wear makeup on your hair, then they say you let yourself go. The plastic surgery patient described it all as sauce. I'm going to do what I want to do. Amen, sister. Will I not live the most fabulous life? Part of that, for me, is having plastic surgery.
Well, let me tell you something, my dear. No. My girl, you said you don't want to get roasted by people, right? If you don't put on makeup and you don't your face droop and thing, society pressures you let yourself go. But if you do plastic surgery, I can roast you, right? Because I am that man, right? What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put up a picture of. I'm gonna put back at this picture here, right? This is the lady here saw, right? This is she before on the left and after on the right, right? And I will even put on the next picture here saw that comes after that. I even put this up here saw, and I can show you that this is what she looked now, right? In my opinion, I don't see much of a difference. That's just me, right? I don't see much of a difference. That's number one. Number two, I see Dr. Carey say she got a good deal for $14,000. That's bad money. All.
She did.
Yeah. Yeah, but my thing is, right? As a man, I am graying early. I got this from my father. I gray very early. I am 43. There are men that are older than me that don't have 2 gray hairs, right? Genetics has me that I gray early, right? Now, I have put color in my hair before. I have dyed it several different colors. I've dyed it black and everything like that. But ultimately speaking, I don't like how ununiform my hair is going gray. Got big gray patch here and then a piece here and then, it look bad, right? In my opinion. Nobody has told me this. Nobody has told me differently, but this is how I feel, right? Now, at the end of the day, let's say there was a procedure for $50,000 that I could do that will make my hair genetically jet black and grow from my scalp black, right? That means I would have to sell my car. That means I can't provide for my son for a while. That would mean several things. So now I'm weighing between a place to live and stay or a car to drive and looking younger. Like at the end of the day, right, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta be able to. Is it so important? You talk about you don't want to be vain or nothing too. You sell your house to look younger, my girl.
Living in a van.
We living in a van. You younger than one in the streets now. You know, young man probably looking at you. You gotta carry home in at your van. Like
rolling with this Fred and Velma.
Yeah, Fred and Velma.
Really don't live in a van.
You gotta live in a van. Like I just.
Shaggy Scooby.
You know, And it was another thing that's boggled my mind, right? Because you get a lot of these love yourself first and love the skin you're in, body positivity, etc., etc., etc. But yet, still, we can talk about the patriarchy forcing this woman, putting societal pressures on her to get weight, take off, and sell she house and this and that next. And we have proven on this podcast that the biggest critics of women are women.
Yep.
So if
Because I'm you deal, if she had a man that was loving she up, that man can't have
that man can't about that. That man can't about that. But you sell your house.
That man invested here, understand? Yeah, he was 50. You know, you can go a little stretch mark here. Cat Williams said it best. Men don't care about the stretch mark. You know, stretch mark come from. And if it's big, and you get small,
or you get small, or you get big. The point is, if we seeing them, we already in it to win it.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Dr. Carey said, you know, the important, as this indeed she said, she hosts. She said all a lovely words salad to justify selling her house, to live in a valley. She is party mystery machine. You know what I mean? And here's a real thing, right? God said, don't tell it, right? Can't mansplain and stuff. So I'm going to speak generally. Ladies and gents who are on the sound of my voice, hopefully you will pick up something once, right? Folks, do not go trying to receive, do not get discount medical advice.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
That is the first thing. Do not get discount medical advice. I understand there were cost constraints. I get it. I know everybody ain't got Bill Gates, right? So you got to look for you know, the most cost efficient way to make your money work. I get it. But certainly do not be trained to do the BJ cost cutter version when you try to do medical procedures. One, and two, as an add-on to that, do not seek your medical advice from social media. Oh, this woman makes a TikTok. Folks, TikTok is not a creditable medical practitioner. Do not go to TikTok for your medical advice. She joined a Facebook group to find out about this procedure. And she went for a procedure that cost. All right, put it to the force, right? Put it to the force in the chat. If you did your research on an operation, a car cost $50,000. $50,000 to $60,000 going rate this car. You come to me and they tell you, look, I could give you this car for $14,000. What's the first thing you ask? What is the first thing? Put it in chat. What's the first thing? Something costs $50,000 to $60,000. I tell you, look, I could give it for 14. What's the first thing you gotta ask? Write it in chat. I ain't prompting you. Write it in chat. This is the Senate Podcast, episode 230. This is Power Submission Night. Hit the like button, folks. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. We've got the King's Gathering coming on August 20th. That's this Sunday coming. So look out for that. We hope to see what is there. As Neil said, he's already chosen his chosen my or rather cross. Marlon, is it stolen? Give me another one there. Give me another one. I just want one more. Something costs 50 to 60 and they're selling you it for 14.
I can put it in chat. I know the answer.
Right up there, chat. 6 p.m. on Sunday, guys. What wrong with it? Exactly, Samuel. What wrong with it?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing you want to know. So this woman, they don't get the this is akin to you buying a Rolex out the back of somebody's car. To get a medical procedure.
Yep.
Ladies, your body, your choice, you have agency of your parents, etc., etc. You've heard all them before. Feel free to get all the facelifts, tucks, dropouts, whatever you want to get.
BBLs, do it all.
Do it all. If you feel so inclined, do that. But certainly do not proceed to take your medical advice social. All right. Let me get the next one you've got, Frankie. You get
That's so wild.
yeah,
Next one. Yeah, let me go.
yeah. Men have better sex with emotionally unstable women. So this explains. This is just a screenshot. I didn't go into the article, but I just put the
But
screenshot. Hilarious.
everybody
Because,
here, we're older men. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
men have been around the block. Is that true? I could certainly say, better sex with emotionally unstable women. Certainly,
Yeah.
it is a more thrilling experience because sometimes you don't know which one can turn up.
That statement that you had the better sex. Emotionally unstable women, put some words in the chat. Let me get you next one there, deal. Yeah. But the Muppet Show predicted what most women would look like in 2023 back in 1975. This is so scary. It is not funny. Yeah.
uh,
So here for a spiritual word as well.
There we go.
So this one comes from the rapper Sexy Red. She writes, I want a stud. I got the STD. All I need is you.
Man, hold on. No.
She has said that, yeah, she don't need that condom stick. Condoms for covers, deep beer with all fear.
This woman Sexy Red.
Yes, that is sexy.
Woman said, I heard you want a stud. I got the STD. All I need is you. Listen, when we can't trendy to put your business for social media.
Boy, people will say anything for clout, for clicks.
I just flabbergasted. Anyhow, let me continue.
Let's crank on. This next one, number 30. This one reads, I'm single and not looking, but we can go to eat. Yeah.
Booty call.
So you all about it.
And I could tell you straight, ladies, if you post that on your social media and no man shouts you, good luck with you and that.
You gonna eat that. That's the only thing you eat there. Right? So I gave you the story about the lady with the facelift. And now we have this story. This one is about an all-female company. Because, we say men are embarrassing, men are stupid, men are and the world generally would be better without men. I've seen a couple of those. We had Cynthia G. We talked about Cynthia G on this show before. Yeah. She said that, we should just abort
black boys.
Black boys.
Babies.
We should abort
boys.
Male.
Black boys. Yeah.
So, that's where we are, right? Men are embarrassing. So let's see what happens when an all-female company, technically speaking, it should come together, it should work harmoniously, and all should, right? So let's see the story of this all-female company. It reads, cat fights over handbags and tears in the toilets. With her women-only TV company, this producer thought she'd kiss goodbye to conflict.
Oh, boy.
Over in one corner sat Alice, a strong-minded 27-year-old who always said what she thought, regardless of how much it hurt someone else. In the other corner was Sarah, 30-something, high flyer, who would stand up for herself momentarily, then burst into tears and run for the ladies. And if you hear the ladies, it sounds British. Daily Mail is British. This is an offshoot of Daily Mail. So, right? Here we go. Their simmering fight lasted hours, egged on by spectators taking sides and fueling the anger. I felt it necessary to say this is English because we associate these kind of behaviors with North America. Mm-hmm. So we need to be mindful of the fact that this is also in the UK, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes other girls would join in, others either heckling aggressively or huddling defensively in the toilets. It might sound like a scene from a tawdry reality show such as Big Brother, but the truth is a little more prosaic. It was just a normal morning in my office. The venomous women, and this is written by late, right? The venomous women, supposedly talented employees I had headhunted to achieve my utopian dream, a female-only company with happy, harmonious workers benefiting from an absence of men. And this is Samantha Brick here. Her business was ruined by the destructive jealousy and infighting of an all-female staff, right? So let's press on the story. It was an idealistic vision swiftly shattered by the nightmare reality. constant bitchiness, surging hormones, unchecked emotion, attention seeking, and fashion rivalry so fierce it tore my staff apart. When I read the other day that Sienna Miller had said there's no such thing as a sisterhood, I knew what she meant. I can understand why people want to believe that women look out for each other, because with men in power at work and politics, it makes sense for us to stick together. In fact, there was a time when I believed the sisterhood, but that was before women at war led to my emotional and financial ruin. They're broken. 5 years ago, I was working as a TV executive producer, making shows for top channels such as MTV and based in Los Angeles. It sounds like a dream job, and it could have been if I'd been male. Working in TV is notoriously difficult for women. There's a powerful old boys network, robust glass ceiling, and the majority of bosses are misogynistic males. Of course, such there, right? Gradually, what has started out as a daydream, wouldn't it be great if there were no men where I worked, turned into an exciting concept. I decided to create the first all-female production company where smart, intelligent, career-orientated women could work harmoniously, free from the bravado of the opposite sex. In hindsight, I should have learned the lessons of my past, and at my mixed secondary school, I was bullied by a gang of nasty name-calling girls, so I knew only too well how nasty groups of women could become. And working in TV, I met lots of super competitive door slammers who'd do anything to get to the top. I told myself that with the right women, work could be wonderful. So in April 2005, I left my job, remortgaged my house, freed up close. One woman said she also paid a slip, bigger remortgage, but she didn't sell it. Freeing up close to £100,000 and began paying myself just £700 a month to set up this utopian business. Having worked extremely hard for 12 years, I had lots of experience and a good reputation. What could go wrong? Picking my battles. I hired a team of 7 staff and set up for an office in Richmond upon Thames, Surrey. While the women I interviewed claimed to be enthused by the idea, I still insisted on high salaries. Pay these strong, independent ladies. Fair enough. I thought at the time they are professionals, and I knew most of them were talented and conscientious because I worked with them before. But within a week, 2 cliques had developed. Those who had worked together before and those who were producing new ideas. Most days would bring a pointed moment when some people were invited out for lunch or a coffee break and some weren't. Nothing explicit was ever said. The cutting rejection was obvious enough. Even when we all went to the pub after work, strict divisions remained, made clear according to who sat where around the table and be civil or not to whom. Fashion was a great divider, though in this battlefield, everyone was on their own. Hideously stereotypical and shallow as it sounds, clothes were a huge source of catty comments, from sly remarks about people looking overdressed to the merits of their fake tan application. So clearly talking about the later complex, right? This is also significant because I am certain enough to know most people would have probably had, if you didn't look at Samantha Brick, you would have thought that this was the melanated ladies, right? I always felt sorry for anyone who naively showed off a new purchase in the office, because everyone cool appreciatively to the face, then harshly criticized them as soon as they were out of your shop. This happened without exception. Let me pause right here because, right? Men are not divided by fashion like that, right? So this is something that would never happen, right? Whether you go or not, we could roll, right? The divisions between, people gravitate to each other. Even in our own chat, right? Not to put the men on blast like that, but you got Moxie and Larry, they're closer than say myself and Larry, right? But when we all get together, we cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it is understood that some people just live better than others, And it's not that you got a problem with Larry or Larry got a problem with me. You good. It's just, yeah, you know people longer, you have to be longer.
Different experiences with each other. And
yeah, it is what it are. So something like that would not be a catalyst for division amongst men. Fashion, certainly not, right? When we go to drink and hold a line, everybody's one, right? We go that. Anyhow, so let's, and she said the criticism. No, and this is the interesting thing about men and stuff, right? Ladies, here we go, right? Not what the ladies did. The ladies will come and cool appreciatively to their face, as she said. I'm going to see you. This is the difference between men. Men will see you, yo, you look very wrong, you stink.
Yeah.
And shoes hard, though. Shoes hard. Whatever, you know what I mean? We do the flick. We insult you to your face.
Yeah.
And then we eventually turn. That's our way of showing, hey, you know, I got you, be cool. We are certainly not going to cool appreciatively, to use her phrase, and then turn around and talk. You don't, right? Anyhow, let's press on here. Give me the next one. Right?
Go ahead.
My deputy, Sarah, the general manager, first showed how much style mattered when she advertised for an office assistant and refused to hire the best qualified girl because she could not distinguish between Sony from Marc Jacobs. This girl had been making tea and running errands. But it didn't challenge the decision not to hire her because they had a policy of picking my battles carefully. No, you were afraid of causing more disruption in the office, so you didn't call that out. But right? The difference between Miss Sony and Marc Jacobs, nobody really cares.
I don't even know who Miss Sony. I never heard of Miss Sony yet.
Neither have I, right? Let's press on. The office was like a Milan cap, but with the competitiveness of a Miss World contest and the low cunning of a mud wrestling bout. Interesting combination, isn't it? A fashion spat ended one friendship when Sarah and our young development researcher received the same surprise Christmas gift, a Chloe Paddington bag worth £900. I don't know if you get a surprise gift of £900. I'd be grateful regardless. Anyhow, when they clocked the matching bags in the office, it was like pistols at dawn. They forced a few compliments, but relations never recovered to the expense of my company. So imagine you, 2 matching bags, done a friendship. Believe that, right? Now, it's interesting because they saw a clip here the other day where a group of women got together for Husband Appreciation Day. Big respects to that. But they all bought the same shirt for their husband. All the men come in, and there's about 6 or 7 men, so everybody got on the same shirt.
Boy, it was on sale.
Did I? Yeah. Like, come on, you know what I mean? Anyhow, another time, when 2 members of staff bought the same jeans, one proclaimed, they look better on me because I'm a size 8, she's a 10.
God damn it.
Yeah, it didn't take long for the office to become divided between the girls who wore makeup and those who didn't. Comments from the former were typically, doesn't she know what spot cover-up is? Or has she ever met a hairbrush? While the no makeup clan were equally biting with comments behind their backs, naturally, such as, people on the morning bus must think she's a prostitute.
Oh, Rastaman.
She looks like a slapper.
Oh.
This is insight into female nature. Okay, ladies, gents, right? This is true insight right here. The obsession with appearance meant nearly all the staff were on diet. So suppose that is again. If I bought a tuna mayonnaise bag at lunch, I would overhear staff commenting that I was a pig. I'm a size 12. Now, please note, this is the boss talking. This is the boss talking, right? These women they care not that they're insulting their boss, right? 2 of the skinny girls often snidely said about the largest girl, I'd kill myself if I got that back. One of the assistants got her own back on the food police for several weeks by pretending to buy them fat-free lattes, which were really full fat. Bad boy.
Bad boy to all.
Employees now here's the thing. I can tell you the difference, I guess, between the quote and a quote. I can't tell you the difference between fat-free latte and full fat.
Well, I could, but only because, yeah, to me, I've always drank 2% milk, so I could tell the difference between 2% milk and full fat milk, whole milk. But that's just me.
These ladies can't. Anyhow,
Oh well, but that's telling.
Indeed, it is quite telling. Employees considered it acceptable to take time off for beauty treatments and not out of their holiday allowance. One girl regularly came in late because she was getting her hair colored. And when I mentioned this, she blew up in outrage. Though at least she had a reason, most just turned up late regardless. Aha, that's the time my train gets in if I pointed at the clock. In hindsight, I can see I should have been more strict. I said it's just no deal. You didn't want to cause disruption and yes and nothing. No, got ED. Anyhow, my idealism was my downfall because I tried to see the best in not want to cause disruption. Call a thing a thing. I was convinced they would behave as if treated, so I treated everyone kindly. Cannot expect indecent people to be decent. Snide comments. If I'd have been more cynical, I would have been more successful. I was often out trying to win contracts, but back at the office, back at the ranch, work was an afterthought. It came second to conversations about shopping, boyfriends, and diets. And spiteful comments from my two development researchers who were sharpening their acrylic nails against another staff member, Tasha. It's interesting that they're talking about boyfriends after they go to work in a company that wants nothing to do with it. But I digress. 6 months. Yeah, go ahead.
No. I was saying let's skip past that for now.
6 months after the company's inception, tension spilled over when one of the researchers took Natasha's laptop and refused to return it. That day, I was forced to cancel my meetings and return to the office to patch up relations. Though Sarah, my general manager, was present, she refused to get involved because she didn't want to be the bad cop. Nobody wants to be the disruptor. Despite being in charge, she was scared at the prospect of being bitched about. It was as though in a woman-only environment, staff were unable to keep their new money. So we know that they have a problem with rules. That's like this.
Oh dear. Soon
arguments became a daily occurrence. It would start with snide comments between two people, then as others joined in, emotion and anger go until an eruption, shouting, screaming, swearing, which always left someone with tears. Please note what she's talking about. An office. This is a workplace. Yeah? Just keep that in mind. She's talking about workplace and shouting, screaming, and swearing. Then the friends of the woman who was upset would follow to her to console her, leaving one group in the office, another group of the ladies. Both would then bitch unreservedly about each other and do absolutely nothing. Right? So production low. Productivity low. It reached the point that it even wrote a handbook to staff on how to be nice to each other. The advice centered on being respectful to everyone, treating equally, taking phone messages properly, whether calls for me or each. I also said there should be no more criticizing or whispering in the office. But although when people read it, said, love the idea, it made not surprised. Many of the women were aggressive or defensive or both. The most aggressive masked a host of insecurities with their own nature, while the defensive ones opened up only when caught. The worst type I encountered, however, was passive aggressive. She doesn't see mean, but is the worst pack, with the sea bringing you down in such a sweet and unassuming manner that you don't realize what she's done until long after the event. Broken hearts. She conceals her bitchy words in flowery phrases. One of my staff told another sweetly, I don't mean to be a bitch, but I just can't bear to be in the same room and breathe the same air as you right now.
God damn.
But the biggest force wasn't personality type, it was hormones. When one woman started having IVF, she unleashed her rage without warning or apology. At that time of the month, which in an office staff with only women meant someone was always at that point, any bad mood was swiftly passed on to the rest of the team as if by osmosis. Hormones came second as an excuse for absence and bad temper, only to love life problems. When woman split up with her boyfriend, I was told in no uncertain terms by her that I must be super understanding and sensitive towards her at work. In an email she sent me, a true drama queen, her tears went on for a week. Naturally, her enemies in the office delighted in her broken heart.
Bad mind, bad mind.
So, let me pause this because I don't think
it's more the same.
We get it. We get the point, though. We get it, but you know, let me come because there was one that I wanted to. Yes, let's go to 40. Give me 47.
46.
Hey, you know what? Let me read 46 of first. Let me read 46. Because these are right.
All right.
Another girl juggling 2 relationships at once frequently primed everyone in the office about what to say to whom whenever either of the men called the office. Another woman who had a voracious sexual appetite and, in a female-only environment, saw nothing wrong with screeching across the open plan room details of her marathon sex sessions. I received frequent complaints about her crude language. I can still remember the name of all of my staff's partners and their affairs because it interfered with our professionally, however, the company was somehow thriving. We secured 2 program commissions, one with ATV and a series with the Living TV, so it could afford new offices in West London. But this brought another explosion for Sarah. She paid out for a parking, but another girl was given a free space for the building's land. So let me go back up because this part is important, right? Talk about the woman that juggling 2 relationships. She tell the girls in the office what to say. When one man called, the next man say, right? And then the women talking about the sex, normal. Mm-hmm. And this brings to mind Lizzo.
Oh.
Herself now is under some controversy for encouraging.
Fat shaming she Fat shaming she.
Lizzo is fat shaming her employees and forcing them to participate in sex acts in the red light district, allegedly. Right? So it goes to show that as much as men are perceived as perverts, etc., when you put women together, this is the kind of thing that you get. They are just as big perverts as the men. Yeah? Just thought I'd point that out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give me 47. This is the last one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right? During a massive row, Sarah said the girl had overstepped her rank, but the girl told her it was just tough. They never spoke. The effect a lot of testosterone was having in the office was even more apparent when I temporarily hired 2 male directors to work series. Camera operators are usually men. But the team suddenly became quieter, more hardworking, and less bitchy, partly because they were too busy flirting. 2 girls openly went after one director, even though he had a living girlfriend. His partner didn't stand a chance against their relentless flirting. I was dumped when one of them won his affections. When we had meetings with men, staff turned ferocious, each out to prove that they were the sexiest in the room. With a male commissioner at Channel 4, one employee said, "Watch this," then stuck her hand down her bra and tweaked her nipples. The man and I were speechless.
It's wild to all. But I will tell you this, right? You know what I find funny about all of that? Can you imagine a company that is filled with Caucasians only hiring Caucasians? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine an all-male company and they refuse to hire women? They only hire men.
Cancel.
You know, I find it so interesting, right? That this woman, and I had to look up to see if, because Like this was written almost like his Onion article, but everything there is real. I did my little research. Samantha Bright is a real woman. She had a company and it collapsed this back in 2005. It ain't last year, right? Now, at the end of the day, right? What this article shows me is what we've been saying on this show for the last 2.5 years. People ain't shit. And men ain't shit. It ain't women ain't shit. People ain't shit. When you have a cross section of people in a confined space or a confined environment for 8 to 10 to 12, 14 hours a day in a day for at least 5-6 days a week, you will invariably get some sort of toxic behavior. Whether it is a man doing something he shouldn't be doing to a woman, whether it's sexual harassment, or a man, 2 men getting a fight, or 2 women getting a disagreement. I have workplaces, right, where there has been always some sort of something drama because you're getting people from various backgrounds, you're getting people from various economic, people have different experiences. They are different individuals,
different people,
right?
Put it together,
right? So, as a matter of fact, I posit to you that having men in that environment would help to balance out some of that feminine. You might get masculine toxicity. You gotta ask, what toxicity better? Masculine toxicity or feminine toxicity? Right? So I find it interesting that this woman had an all-female company. I can't imagine tomorrow we starting a podcast company. We hire 50 staff and all is men. I can't process that. And I can't certainly process the fact that women would say things that they don't need men or they want men to get from wrong place or whatever. Men, just like women, just like any human being, we have our flaws. Some of us are damn near strange. Some of us are just don't need to be wrong people, right? Some of us need to learn how to be around people and how to treat people like people. We never said that men ain't got work to do. We never said there ain't some men that ain't shit. We never said that there are toxic behaviors from men. We never said that. That's well documented in the mainstream media. But what you are seeing here is exactly the point we tried to make. Before you throw stones in your glass house at men, be careful with what you got behind you. Because here it is, you build a whole company now, and that Sarah, I did some research. I am wondering if that Sarah is a certain Royal Duchess Sarah, because I was reading some article, a review of this woman, and she said that the Duchess of York or whatever had a position there. So I wonder if that is the same Sarah. Regardless, I find it interesting that you want so much to remove men and their toxicity from around you, but you invariably end up with a different beast of toxicity altogether. People are toxic. People are toxic. If me and Derek go and work in a company, we gonna work at, I don't know, a production company. You think it'd be all bed of roses? Then got people that can want life on we. Then got, women, men. Like toxicity is just a part of life. The same thing she said when she went to school in her school. There we went to school. We know some people that was no good. People that were just damn idiots and assholes and bitches and stuff. We know those people. That's just life in the Western world. That's just life in the tropics. People will always do people things. So it don't matter if it's all woman. It don't matter if it's all man. Because, check. What's the problem in all man? What's the toxicity of that? The male equivalent of that is every man gonna want to take charge. Mm-hmm. And everybody, it can be a pissing contest. And men gonna want to be the alpha. And, some men gonna want to be, it might come to fisticuffs, men might kind of blows. Right. It ain't gonna come to, or you shoes look this, you buy that, or you fat or not like that. It just be like, nah, you can't tell me what to do though. Who's you? Big man? I ain't like, oh, you talk to me, big man, let me step outside. So it doesn't matter.
We understand
the threat of violence.
Pecking order. That too. We understand pecking order 1 and 2, as you said, the threat of violence. Because if they felt like somebody felt like had a big bully in there, a lot of the challenges that they had in there would not exist. Because they would know, we gonna fight you here, but it doesn't exist.
Yeah. So So ladies, I understand you've had bad experiences with men. The 1 or 2 men or 3 men or 4 men that you would have engaged were creeps, dogs. They were no good. But when you make blanket statements like we need to get rid of men from certain spaces, we don't need men, and we need to ostracize and get just purge that energy, that masculine energy, and let we all women get together and create a utopia, right? Life is about balance. Men and women have been put on this planet. That happened, Charles. Whether you believe in God or biology or evolution, men and women were put on the planet. Meaning that we got to balance one another. And we've made it 200 and some thousand years. 200 and something thousand years. Where we ain't exterminate the other gender yet. So you know what? We in it together. So
yeah, but it's funny that something like this is not considered misandrous.
No, this is empowerment. This is empowerment. This is ladies taking charge of their own rhetoric. This is them taking on the patriarchy in a male-dominated, misogynistic, egocentric field of production and cinema and TV. All them buzzwords and word salad can get tossed around, right? This happened in 2005. Why are we hearing about it today? Right? So to me, ladies, I get it, but you need men. Just like we need women, we don't need men. I'm sorry to put it to you. I'm sorry to think. It could be about procreation. It could just be about living, cohabitating, whatever it is. You need a man just as we need a woman. So as you want dipsy doodle ass, I don't need a man. I could do all that by myself and I could thrive in an all girl this and that next. Let me ask you, who's been the meanest to you in your life, women or men? Let me ask, the ones that have been verbally and chatty and bitchy, you have more bitchy, catty women in your life or assholes and misogynists? And if the answer is indeed yes, you had more men be terrible to you than women, ask why. Shoot, if you had women that were terrible to you, ask why too. Find out the reason why and solve it. Move with different people. Find different circles. But certainly don't come and blame men for the problems, because I assure you that if tomorrow you got rid of every man on the planet, y'all will be struggling. Just like if we got rid of every woman on the planet, we'd be struggling. Shoot, what we ain't got to do there but conquer each other as men? We start wars and blow up things and you understand? So I just
devolve into the lowest.
Yeah.
Instincts.
You imagine we ain't got no women, so we ain't got nothing boy to take off the edge or thought we don't all feel edge. And be like, come let my house bigger than mine. You know what we gonna do? We gonna take that house. So ladies and so please understand where we're coming from. We don't get on men too often on this channel because men they're getting on men every day. But it's time to have the women look in the mirror and say, you know what? If men ain't shit, it gotta be your choosing patterns. It gotta be you. No, I am not saying that we're not talking about rape, essay, physical abuse. We're not talking about those things. Because you know a lot of people will say, oh, so you're trying to say victim shaming. But no. If you have dated several men or all intended to be terrible, as in, you know, they were emotionally distant or they cheated on you or all sorts of things, I'm just saying that 2% could be your fault though. And that's all right. You could be part to blame, and that's all right. But certainly don't point all the fingers at the man, because that don't make sense.
All right. Daniel, it is 6 minutes past the hour of 10 in Barbados, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. Folks who are indeed watching the Senate podcast, this is episode 235. We had a long one.
A challenging one.
Here in the sauna. So I give 2 more before we get out of here. So what we're going to do, let's go to 59 to give the people that.
59. Let me get 59 here.
Yeah. We can try to bring this thing close, but because I am who I am, I want to do so in grand style. There's a reason these last pieces of content. Second, so let's get 9.
All right. I got 59 here.
All right. Go ahead, bro.
All right, let's get it in 3, 2, 1.
I'm afraid. I'm currently house-sitting for my parents whilst they're away on holiday for a week. On the first night, after a few glasses of wine, I got under the bed to plug my phone charger into the wall. There I found a very pretty shoebox.
Oh, no, don't look in the shoebox under the bed.
Oh, I don't even know if I can read this.
Why would you bloody look? Why?
Imagine my shock as I opened it to find my mother's very large and realistic battery-powered boyfriend. Hindsight is great, and I know now that I should have left it there, but my curiosity would unfortunately get the better of me. Being alone and horny, and also quite impressed by the XL veiny monster I had in my hands...
No, no, no.
Oh, no!
No, she did not use your mum's dildo. Tell me, Tell me. Well, please. Please.
People are disgusting.
She did not.
I gave it a wash, turned it on, and slipped it in. So not to go into too much detail, all I'll say is the beast was amazing. It hit all the right spots. Upon closer in... Oh no!
How does it get worse? She's using her mum's dildo, for Christ's sake.
No!
What? What? What?
The only markings were a faint name on the base embossed in the plastic. It read... Clone a Willy.
Oh no! Oh no! No!
Turns
no!
out
No!
I've been
no,
getting
no,
the best
no, no.
orgasms of my life from a replica of my father's penis. How am I meant to proceed from here?
I think we're done.
What's your advice? Regards, Melissa.
It's been a great 5 years.
Yeah.
This is it. We've peaked. I'm actually speechless.
What advice you want, my girl? That's incest adjacent. What?
Yeah, pretty much.
What?
But the challenge I think that Melissa has now is that she wants to use it again. I think that's a challenge that Melissa is having.
Melissa,
So
no,
Melissa-
she want a bush bath.
Yeah, the Pandora's box over her head, so it's like, it's really good. She said, hit all his box, like she said. So now she's like, in for a penny, in for a pound, let's get this done.
God, in heaven above.
Yeah. Box. Like we don't make any rules, we just make sure you know where they are. Yeah, you can ignore reality all you want, you cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. The best version of you for you. We can see you guys again soon. Please, we're gonna be here on Thursday again for another live stream, another fire submission. We got stuff we didn't get done tonight with Thursday. Hopefully we have the song sorted out then. And please remember out there in these dating streets.
The contaminated environment. And the tutus about that.
Yeah, we can see you guys on Thursday. Let's get this last one and put this one together for you guys. Do enjoy it.
Is number 6? Is 60, right?
Yeah, 60.
All right. Well, let's get it.
This is where I'm at in my life right now, besides taking Plan B and fucking every other guy under the sun.
Trash, trouble, and trifling. That's what she is.
I'm having a really hard time, and I know I'm not the only person out here that is trying to figure out, am I good enough to be in a relationship again?
No, you're not. No, you're not. Stop.
And I'm really trying to decide right now. Like, I feel like I would like to be in a relationship, and I don't think I'm desperate. I don't feel lonely. I just would like to share my life with someone and to be close with someone like that again.
You raggedy bitch.
Raggedy bitch.
Hunters for cowards, beat fear, no fear.
You did.
Hoes in this
That
house.
is not justice. That's
all women should be courted. If you're interested in
Even a
somebody-
hooker?
Yes.
But the world doesn't owe you understanding. So the men don't go to women and say, accept me short, accept me broke, accept me fat. But we go to them and say, accept us ran through. That's not a fair deal.
Okay, who the biggest hoe? Who gave the most head? Who like they booty ate? Who had sex in the 4th grade? Who had sex with a married man? Who got ran the train on? Don't point at me. Who would have had a 3-year-old, but they went to the clinic?
In Jesus' name, we come against hoes in the name of Jesus.
If you ask somebody what their body count is, they're gonna lie. Whether it is to make it better, like if a guy's only slept with 3 girls, he's probably gonna say he slept with 40. If a girl slept with 200 guys, she's gonna say 12.
But why do you think it matters more for girls than for guys?
Here's the thing. You can be in a relationship for 7 years and sleep with the same guy every day for 7 years. Or you could be single and sleep with like one guy every 2 weeks. Like there's no difference. Sex means nothing. It's the least meaningful thing in the world.
I swear, they come with all that bullshit.
Y'all, I hate to be the one to tell y'all this, but somebody had to say it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let y'all know. All girls cheat. All girls cheat. But if she love you, you won't never find out.
It's the facts. It's the facts.
Okay. Tonight I am going to a new sex party out here in LA that requires everybody submit an STI test before you attend. I've been to maybe 3 or 4 different ones out here in LA. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the names of them, but this one seems to be a little bit more in my age range. The ones that I normally go to are super expensive to attend. I don't have to pay it because I'm a single female.
Pussy done kicking.
We got a piece of love here.